We're live. Hi, everybody. It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to the show. Oh, we made it. May the 22nd, 2019. Glad to have you here. 1 minute while I mute my little commercial. There we go. That's done. And let me make sure I won't mute my telephone because gosh knows I don't do that. All right. We are pretty well in business, and it's nice to have you here today. Thanks for joining me on this, what is it, Tuesday today. Fantastic. Here in Creston, oh man, we are warm. We're hitting 80 degrees around here. That's like a heat wave. 80 degrees in Creston, gorgeous sunny, virtually no clouds anywhere. It's just beautiful. Loving it to the max. And even the snow at the top of our mountains around here quickly disappearing, really only a little bit of snow left in some of the ravines. Very nice. So happy about how that is going. I welcome you to the show, to my channel. Those of you who are new, who are joining me for the first time, welcome to TWB, Traveling with Bruce. Here at the TWB Family, we love talking about cruises, cruise ship vacations, going on holidays. We like talking about the cruise we just had. We can't wait to talk about the cruise we're about to go on. We are talking about cruises we did 20 years ago. We love talking cruise ships and cruise ship news and what's going on out there. I'm live Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, Saturdays at 2 Eastern, talking cruise ships 6 days a week. And then on top of that, I like to put videos out there from time to time on news events and what's going on. And speaking of news, I made already 2 videos today. I've already put 2 videos up on the channel. I don't know if you've seen them or not. There are 23,600 subscribers practically here. I think we're only about four away from 23,600. And I haven't had 23,000 views, so not all of you watched the video yet. But it's cool. You can take a couple of days if you want. You can watch it at your convenience. Love to have you do that. I did a video this morning about Port Canaveral and how 6 ships came into Port Canaveral the other day. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I also did a video today where I have found out a little more information. It's all about Carnival. It's all about Carnival and the story with respect to the out-of-court settlement that's being negotiated here. Peter Heckema, thank you very much. I just saw a donation come through my channel. Thank you, Peter Heckema. Thank you for that. It must be Tuesday. Awesome. Love you. Carnival has made a deal with the U.S. Justice Department to, in effect, probably not get banned from U.S. cruise ports. That is the big headline that's been going around about, it was going around about a month ago. In 5 days, there will be a court hearing or is it 6 days? 6 days. There'll be a court hearing in Miami with a federal judge. The president of Carnival, the chief executive officer, all the top guns will be brought into the courtroom. And it is expected that the U.S. Justice Department will inform the judge, the U.S. federal judge, that a deal has been struck between the U.S. government and the cruise line. By the way, cheers everybody from TWB to you, Traveling with Bruce. The story goes that the cruise line was convicted of, pled guilty to dumping illegal water illegally in U.S. waters back in 2016. They agreed to a probation deal that was supposed to go for 5 years, and here we are into the third year. And there are all kinds of instances of the probation being violated. The company has been caught not only dumping gray water and other materials into U.S. waters where they shouldn't be, but they were also caught trying to cover it up. They were also caught trying to find ways to do it and not get caught doing it. All kinds of nonsense. Keep in mind that the Carnival Cruise Line Company is not just Carnival. There's 106 ships involved here with the cruise line. We are talking about Princess Cruises, Holland America Cruises, of course, Carnival, Cunard. We're talking about Costa Cruise Line, P&O Cruise Line is another division of Carnival. There's a whole bunch of cruise lines that Carnival is involved with. Ada Cruising out of Germany. They have quite a varied selection of cruise companies that they own and control. And so these charges are not just on Carnival ships with those red smokestacks that go out like a whale's tail. We're talking about a bunch of cruise lines here where there have been instances of illegal dumping of garbage, waste, and other materials. And so the U.S. justices, or I guess the U.S. Justice Department, the lawyers and the environmental experts that they have working for them, have come up with a plan with the cruise line to have the cruise line adhere to these restrictions. I do not know if the cruise line is being forced to cough up an additional fine on top of the one they've already paid, which was $40 million back in 2016. I do not know if there are any other agreed to penalties that have been brought up. And I do not know if the judge on the 3rd of June will agree and accept this deal. The judge might throw it out. The judge might say, no, this is not good enough for me. This company has just been so egregious in their effects and their efforts and their ways. I'm not buying into this Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking this Kool-Aid with you guys. I want harsher penalties, and it could well be that the judge can do effectively whatever the judge wants to do, because this is a federal judge with a ton of power, and the federal judge could literally say, no, I don't think this is right. You guys come back to me with a deal in the next 2 weeks or 30 days that has certain other provisions in it, or I will bring in my own penalties. And the banning of Carnival and all of her related cruise lines might be still on the table. The jailing, the literally imprisoning of the senior executives of Carnival could also be on the table. There's a litany of choices here, tons of choices that the judge has to impose, in effect, her will on this, this deal. But it seems that between the lawyers for the U.S. Justice Department and the lawyers for Carnival and the company itself, they seem to have come up with an arranged solution. They've come up with a solution to this little mess. We're going to find out what the proposal is on the 3rd of June. But don't be surprised if on the 3rd of June that the judge hauls in they'll haul in the executives, and she will she'll make a public spectacle of these people. I have a feeling that Carnival is not going to have a good PR day next week on June the 3rd. It's going to have a bad public relations day on June the 3rd. Whether a deal is accepted on the spot or not, or whether something has to be renegotiated or not, I just don't think Carnival's going to have a good day. And I think a lot of media is going to be all over this story on June the 3rd, June the 4th, June the 5th, and we will be too. I'll follow it from here, and I'll keep you posted on what happens and what the ramifications are and what the deal is. Keep in mind, though, folks, some of you out there who've been sending me comments, which, by the way, I love you guys. Thank you, viewers, for sending me comments. One, on this show, number one. Number two, on any video I make. Thank you for sending me comments. A number of you have commented to me saying, oh, I hope they throw the book at these guys. I hope they nail them $200 million. I hope they nail them $300 million. I hope they do this. I hope they do that. Keep in mind, if you're a fan of cruising, you like to go on cruise ships, whatever the fine is to Carnival, it's not really that Carnival, it's not Carnival that pays it. Yeah, it's a fine to the company, and the corporation has to cut a check to the Justice Department. Yeah, I get all that. Well, where does the money come from to do that? Carnival makes $15 a day per passenger on their cruise lines. So I don't care what cruise line you're talking about, Cunard and like I said before, Princess and Holland America. You figured all those cruise lines, every day, $15 a day profit is made by Carnival from cruisers that go on these ships. So if you're on the cruise for a week, got a 1 week cruise, you're making the cruise line $105 on average. Some of you make the cruise line a lot more money because you buy drink packages. You lose a bunch of money in the casino. The company loves you for it. But there are others of you only take 3 and 4 day cruises, and you get on a cruise ship for $50-$60 a night, and you are really careful with your money. You don't make them anywhere near $15 a day. You might not make them $4 or $5 a day, but nonetheless, the average, when it's all said and done, $15 a person. So, hey, who's paying it? It's going to be the passengers. The cruise line is going to find a way to raise whatever money they have to raise to pay the bill. One way to do it is raise prices or cut back services or start charging for items that used to be free. Has this sounded familiar to you in the last 2 or 3 years in the cruise business? Probably the last 5 years. all of you out there have been telling me about the cutbacks on the cruise lines and how much it's costing you now to take the cruise, what you're paying now to eat at a specialty dining restaurant, what a drink costs now, what tips are now. It's all gone up, up, and up, and don't think it's going any lower. It's going to keep going. This judgment is bad news for cruisers, actually. It's bad news for the company. It's bad news for the environment. It's bad news for cruisers, because at the end of the day, whatever settlement is agreed upon, whatever deal is made, it's going to cost Carnival and subsequently all other cruise lines who are watching this very closely. It's going to cost them all more money to operate in U.S. waters. And at the end of the day, you're taking a cruise out of Miami, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral. I don't care where your cruise starts or ends. You are going to be paying for it one way or the other. And don't be wishing for $1 billion fine, because you're not going to like the net result 6 months down the road, 3 months down the road, a year down the road when it comes to cruise pricing. Keep in mind also, okay, Carnival gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and Carnival has to pay a massive fine and pay massive amounts of money to adhere to these new rules. The other cruise lines, they're not stupid. They're going to be sitting back going, oh, wait a minute. Hey, listen, I just noticed something. The chief accountant at Royal Caribbean is going to say to his lieutenant, and over at Norwegian, the same thing, MSC, the same thing. They're going to say, hey, you know what? That ruling they did last week, that last month, that that deal in the courthouse in Miami, that's going to cost Carnival $300 million this year and next year and the year after that. They're going to have to raise their prices by 5–10%. You know what that means? We can raise our prices by 5 or 10%. Why shouldn't we? We're in the business of making money. We're not here to make people happy. We're here to make money for our shareholders. So Carnival has to pay $300 million more, and they have to raise the cost of a cruise by $50. Well, why don't we raise our price of our cruise by 50? Or why don't we be great guys? Why don't we only raise our price by 45? But the good news for us is we don't have to pay the $300 million that they're paying. We get to keep that money. And so we get to keep all $45 on our bottom line, and we get to go to our shareholders and our bankers in New York and say, see how great we are? We're the greatest managers of a cruise line you've ever seen in the world. The passenger is the one getting screwed. At the end of the day, the passenger is getting screwed. And so don't forget that, people, when you are watching the outcome of this case. Yes, certain people have to be held accountable for actions. I agree with that. But in the world of corporate justice, it's a dollar deal. No one goes to jail. You can't put Carnival in jail. We're going to take a cruise ship, put it in jail. You can't do that. You're going to charge the company money. And the justice system of the United States is very good at levying fines on individuals and entities. And bottom line, customers end up paying it when it's all said and done. So there you go. That is the Carnival story. As of this moment, I did a video about that today. It's received some very good views today. I hope you check it out. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up on it. And if you wouldn't mind, if some of you have already been sharing it with others out there, I'd love it if you did that for me on this video as well. Thank you very much. All right. The other video I did today was the Port Canaveral story. Port Canaveral had the other day 6 cruise ships in port at the same time for one day. And that meant that 5 of the 6 ships were in for what we call a turnaround. They came in and dropped off passengers, dropped off their luggage, dropped off all the waste, and picked up new luggage, new passengers, and new stuff like a whole bunch of alcohol and food and all kinds of provisions for the next cruise. And as the day wore on, the 5 ships left port. The 6th ship that came in was visiting Port Canaveral for the day. Just came in as a visit, so it docked. Passengers got off, got onto buses, and went out and explored the area. And then 6–8 hours later, came back to the ship, boarded, and the ship headed out of port. Did the ship pick up supplies? Maybe. Might have picked up some supplies. Maybe didn't pick up anything. Might have dropped a few things off. But generally, it was just a visit for the day. 6 passenger cruise ships. Total number of passengers serviced in that harbor that day, 33,000 approximately, were looked after that day. And that's not all. Port Canaveral is growing. It's getting much larger. As I'm speaking to you right now live on the air with 60 some odd people here. By the way, how many are you? 66 of you here who have given me 14 thumbs up. Thank you. The port at Port Canaveral is under construction big time. They are building, Carnival, by the way, is building Terminal 3. The old Terminal 3 was ripped down months ago, and a brand new Terminal 3, much larger and much more efficient, is being erected as we are speaking here. It will be capable of handling the brand new Mardi Gras cruise ship, 5,200 passengers at least, probably with up to 6,000 with quadruple occupancy in some cases. That many people plus crew. We're talking up to 7,500, 8,000 passengers and crew on a cruise ship. This new terminal will handle that with ease, and they could do one every day if they wanted to. Not sure if they can handle 2 cruise ships at that terminal, but definitely they can handle 1 at that level. Carnival already has 2 other terminals already at Port Canaveral. They handle their Ecstasy class ships and others that handle up to 3,000 plus passengers each. And so, in effect, 3 stops right there. Disney is building. They have announced a new deal and an agreed extension to a lease, another 20-year additional with probably a bunch of options behind it, because Disney Cruise Lines, which has 4 ships now, is adding 3 new ships to her fleet between now and 2023 or so. 2 of those new ships will be utilizing the terminal in Port Canaveral, and that terminal is being expanded now. That between now and a year from now will be modernized and modified and made larger. Celebrity just finished a terminal at the port not too long ago, and that can handle not only Celebrity ships, but can handle Royal Caribbean ships as well. Norwegian uses Port Canaveral, and the numbers are staggering. In 2017, Port Canaveral handled 4.5 million passengers. That made it the 2nd busiest port in Florida. Number 1 is Florida. Number 2 is Port Canaveral. Number 3, Port Everglades or Fort Lauderdale. By 2040, it is estimated that Port Canaveral will handle at least, if not more than, 8 million cruise passengers a year out of Port Canaveral. 8 million. Miami right now is the world's busiest as we speak. I believe Miami is about 5.25 million to about 5.5 million passengers a year. Miami, as you all have heard, if you've been watching me, is expanding as well. Norwegian is frantically building their new terminal right now. Royal Caribbean just completed their terminal about 6 months ago. Virgin has announced their own terminal that they're building. MSC has just announced their own terminal that they're building. There are a number of new modern, high-end, technologically modern cruise terminals being built for a number of the cruise lines servicing out of Miami. So Miami will definitely go past 6 million, probably past 7 million. Will they get to 8 million? I'm not sure, but that's 2040. We'll see. It's only 2019, but then again, 21 years from now, time flies when you're having fun. We'll watch that story. We'll follow that story. What's going to happen in Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale? It'll be interesting to see how the Fort Lauderdale scenario works out over the next couple of years. Will there be modernization done there? Will there be expansion done there? I really don't know. Is Fort Lauderdale at maximum capacity now? It's in the 4 million range. Don't know, but the ships are getting larger. They're not getting smaller, and so these ports are going to have to be able to handle the increased passenger counts that are coming from these cruise lines. Anyway, there you go. There's a couple of pieces of news for you today that have been going on in the cruise world, stuff that I'm following. It's in flow here. The Carnival story is flowing along. We'll watch it. I have not heard the gory details of the proposed settlement between the Justice Department and Carnival. I'll look for it. We'll keep an eye open for it, but I have a feeling we're not going to hear about it until the day of the trial or the day of the hearing. It's not a trial, it's a hearing on the 3rd of June. We'll watch for that. By the way, if you're new to the show, please say hi to me. Tell me where you're watching me from. A bunch of my viewers are saying hi to me as they do all the time. I'd love to hear from all of you who are new to the show, to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, please let me know if you thought you'd like to find out about new cruise ship news. You want to stay on top of what's going on in the cruise ship game. I would ask you to consider subscribing to this channel for Traveling with Bruce. There's a button probably right over here. There's another subscribe button somewhere over there. One of these 2 buttons has a little bell icon nearby. That you need to press urgently. That is known as the bell notification icon. It will give you alerts every time I make a new video, if you press that button and say yes, by all means, please contact me whenever Bruce is up to something. I want to know what's happening. Also, I also want to mention something else today. I was going to say to you that I was hoping to have today Sherry Awesome Sunsets Travel on my channel today. And I have been working with her diligently now for about a week. We've been trying to do practice sessions between our channels to connect, and we're having problems getting a connection worked out. And we tried again last night, still to no avail. She did contact me this morning and said she had she's figured out what the glitch is, but that she has been called in to work today. She couldn't make today's show, and that I think what we're going to do is get her on next week. So do not fret out there, folks. You will have a chance to talk to a travel agent one-on-one on my channel. Shortly, I'm going to get her on here hopefully next week. Now, the other news that's going on, and I wanted to bring this up to everyone's attention today, day after tomorrow, Thursday, I have a special show coming on Thursday. Rather than being on at 5 o'clock, which I normally am every day, I will be on at 2:45 Eastern Time, just before 3 o'clock Eastern Time instead of 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Thursday, day after tomorrow. Why? Because I have Sherry from Cruise Tips TV as my guest on this channel, and I am working with her and her busy lifestyle. She is taking time out of her day to be able to be on my show. She does have what we call a day job, quote unquote, and she is in effect utilizing her lunch hour to be able to be on my show on a weekday, and it will work out for her that being in California time like I am, but two of us are in the same time zone here in the far west, we will be on the air local time at 11:45 Pacific time, which turns out to be 2:45 New York time. So those of you in the east, it's 2:45. Those of you on the far west coast, it's 11:45 in the morning. Sherry from Cruise Tips TV will be here, and we were able to establish our communication today. We did a test run this morning, and it worked great. And I really am looking forward to having her on the show. I invite you to come on by, join us live at 2:45 Eastern. And if you have any questions for Sherry, post them, and I will try to read them to her. I've got some questions already set up for her that I'm waiting to get to her. But if you have any questions, please let me know on the live show. And let's visit with Sherry, because she's going to visit with us. So I'm really thrilled about that. She has now 72,000 subscribers. Way to go, Sherry and Mr. Cruise Tips TV and small little Cruise Tips TV. Doing great, and they work very hard at a number of things. And I'm really pleased and humbled that she's coming on my channel. I very much look forward to interviewing her and hanging out and talking YouTube and cruising and everything else. And I look forward to having you join me as well, folks. So please come by and see us again at a special time, 2:45 on Thursday Eastern Time. Now, after that show is over, I will be off the air until 8 o'clock Thursday night when I have my regular trivia show. I'll be on at that time, but I will not be doing a 5 o'clock show on Thursday. This will be the 5 o'clock show instead. So we're going to move up a little bit for Thursday's show. All right, so today we're on at 5. Right now, we're also going on tonight at 8 o'clock for trivia tonight. I've got the trivia questions all ready to go, locked and loaded. I look forward to that with you guys. I hope you can join me for that. If you have any questions or comments about this telecast today or my channel in general, let me know. Thanks again for all of you who are supporting this channel in a million ways. Those of you who give me thumbs ups, thank you. Whether it's live, whether it's on a rerun, whether it's on a video I made 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, thank you for thumbs ups whenever you do it, because that shows YouTube you like what I'm doing, and I appreciate that. I do the best I can with what we have. Thank you, those of you who are picking up RedBubble merchandise, Traveling with Bruce T-shirts and items on the RedBubble store. Thank you. We are uploading videos every couple of weeks, different designs, and some of them great, some of them not so great. I appreciate any and all orders that come through because it helps me stay on the air as a full-time YouTuber. Thank you also for those who send me donations through PayPal and through Super Chat. Thank you very much. And then those of you who have reached out to me and who would like to do a one-on-one get-together, I'm offering that, of course, as through a donation to the channel. Details are usually down below in the description. And then finally, Amazon. Those of you who are going to Amazon.com, you're going to Amazon through my channel. On the link just below here, there is an affiliate link. You can go to Amazon, buy whatever you want for your daily needs, corporate needs, whatever. Gift for somebody, it doesn't matter. I don't care what it is. Whatever you order on Amazon through my link down below, this channel earns a little commission on whatever it is you order. And I thank all of you who are doing that through Traveling with Bruce. Great way to support this channel. And if you're using Amazon anyway, what's the difference to you? No difference to you, but all the difference in the world to me. Thank you, everybody. All right, I want to say hi to Vivian, Alan Carter, Kat Rose, Brittany Lockwood, Wes Morrison from beautiful Texas, Green, Texas. I keep using that. I keep using that doily of yours. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate this. Keeps my cup nice and safe there. Paul Wilgus is in the house. Welcome, Paul. John LeBeau is here. Who else have I got? John B. It's been a while since I've been here. Thanks to the evening work. Have to feed the college students. Right on, John B. Welcome to the show and welcome back to a live telecast. Kirk Brunson from New York. Welcome, Kirk. Who else have I got? Linda Lou. Sylvan Forrest saying it's 91 in Delray Beach, Florida right now. Drinking a cigar. Just started. Please hit the thumbs up, he says. Subscribe and hit those notifications. Dinner tonight in the Forrest household will be seafood paella and chocolate ice cream for dessert. Can't go wrong with that on a beautiful warm day. 91 degrees. Oh, you need chocolate ice cream. Got that right. Welcome, sir. Brittany Lockwood, 93 degrees in Louisiana today. I can imagine it is hot and humid. Welcome, Brittany. Who else have I got here? Let me go through my comments. Tom Henry from Richmond, Virginia. Tom, how are you, pal? Nice to have you here. Glad to see you. By the way, Tom Henry and a number of these other folks have been visiting with me after these shows, between these shows, on the Facebook group page for Traveling with Bruce, spelled with 2 L's. If you want to become a member of the Traveling with Bruce Facebook group page, head on over to Facebook. Go to that search bar at the top, enter Traveling with Bruce with 2 L's. You'll see the site pop up. You can ask to join the site. I'll let you in. I'm the administrator. And folks have been posting videos of their trips, photos of their cruise trip holidays, comments, news articles, historical memorabilia from cruises gone by. I love it. I just love it. You guys are just doing a beautiful job on there. More and more stuff is getting posted on the Traveling with Bruce Facebook group page. Please come over and join it, and we're having fun there too. All right, Vivian is here from the United Kingdom. MGM Traveling is in the house from New Jersey. Norman Duarte is here from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Norman, how you doing, buddy? Rain in Bridgeport, he says. Bridgeport. Tom Henry, the humidity is decent. I drove home with the windows down and not too uncomfortable. Debbie Emmanuel has arrived. Oh yeah, a Hyundai commercial. Mid-70s today, and premium is at $419 at Arco. Yikes, $419 a gallon. That's crazy. Hi, Bruce and TWB family. Welcome, Debbie, as always. Kat Rose from Sacramento is also in the house. Welcome, dear. My regulars, I kind of know where they're from because they're here every day. If you're new to me, tell me where you're watching me from. What's your high temperature today? What's the price of gas in your neighborhood? Is it going up, going down? What's going on? Let us know. We compare notes around here. Tom Henry, well, Paul, it could be worse. It could be high, Mr. Wilson. Who else is here? Kelly Haston, I see. Let me look at that. Louis, the travel and theme park spotter, 98. Hi, Bruce. Mate, I'm like Port Canaveral. Welcome, Louis, the travel and theme park spotter. Welcome to the show. Linda Lou is saying hello and laughing as well. Donnell is here from Ireland, Cork, Ireland. Welcome, Donnell from Cork, Ireland. I'm glad you are here today. Happy Tuesday to you too. Let's see here. Who else is here? Let me go through the name. Duncan N. Good afternoon, Bruce. Been very busy. Just had my last high school graduation. Back to normal, 96 in Naples today. Hello, TWB family. Welcome, Duncan, to the show. Callum Budget was here, but made too many messages in too short a period of time. What's going on with that? Let's see here. Who else have I got here? Paul Wilson. Hey, Paul Wilson. How you doing? Susan R. Hi, all. 88 Swampy here outside of D.C. Perillo Tours advertising on your channel, Bruce. Very interesting. I'd love to know who's advertising to you guys on this channel. That's why sometimes you'll see people say to me, hey, so-and-so advertised on your channel today. I'd love to know that. Helps me figure out who is using this guy to get to your eyeballs. It's very interesting. Helps me with my analytics. Tom Henry, my timeshare place I'll be checking out in July is within sight of Port Canaveral. Might be a good place to ship watch. You never know, Tom. You never know. Let's see her. Who else is here? Kat Rose, Donnell, Paul Lucas, Wes Morrison. As I say, I can see why Port Canaveral is growing. He says the nearest airport is Orlando, which is on one of the cheapest airports to fly in and out of. With JetBlue and Southwest serving Orlando, fares will stay competitive. Exactly. You've got those two guys plus the majors. It keeps the majors in check from gouging you coming in and out of Fort Lauderdale. Of course, Fort Lauderdale is is a few hours drive depending on where in the Florida area you live, whether it's Jacksonville to the north, Fort Lauderdale to the south, Miami to the south. You can drive away or a quick flight. Absolutely. Peter Heckema is here. Hi, Bruce and all. Beautiful. Tarpon Springs has a temperature of 93 degrees today. Our pool water is 91. And gas has gone down to $2.43 a gallon. My sign-in ad today was for WeatherTech floor mats. WeatherTech floor mat. It's interesting the kind of advertisers that are advertising to my people on this channel. It's really interesting. Welcome, my friend, and thank you for your donation as always. Love you for that. Blaine, 2007s, I'd say Fort Lauderdale would be at capacity since it's so close to Miami. That's too many passengers in a short radius. Well, Blaine, with all the number of ships coming out and with all the different cruise lines running the cruises, there isn't enough port space. There's more ships than port spaces. So of course Tampa is in play on the other side of Florida, and then up to Port Canaveral we go. It's going to get to the point where certain companies will have trouble getting in and out of ports because there'll be too many ships, not enough spots. We'll have to watch that. Kind of like airports, try to get a landing spot in JFK. Good luck. Try to get a landing spot in LaGuardia or a Boston Logan. I mean, these airports, some of these airports are at total capacity. London Heathrow, you can't get a spot. The only way you're going to get a spot at London Heathrow is if you buy someone else's spot from them. That's the only way in. Same thing with New York and other places. It'll happen. It may happen with cruise ports as well, depending on how many more ships are going to come out. So Linda Lou says, so 11:45 Pacific. That is correct. 11:45 Pacific on Thursday. I'll be live on the air. 2:45 Eastern time is the same equivalent. Good. I need the math corrected. Thanks, Bruce. Susan, looking into cruising between the Greek islands. I don't want day trip type cruise. I've done that. Would like 3 days per island. Suggestions of a company to use. Oh, Susan, I can't, off the top of my head, I can't tell you that. I'm not sure how and who you would use. I'm going to have to guess. You may want to do some Google searching for European-based cruise lines, probably regionally based, probably Greek-based, because you're going to need a company that has the rights under Greek maritime law to be able to visit one Greek island, another Greek island, another Greek island, and be within, say, Greek waters for the entire time. Outside cruise lines may not have that kind of privilege, or it is so expensive they won't do it. Whereas if you have a regional line or a Greek-owned cruise line or a Greek-managed cruise line, they might get special exemptions under Greek law to be allowed to offer these kinds of cruises. You might, unfortunately, be stuck, however, with private operators where there's only one ship in the whole fleet, and it might be down to much smaller vessels, and you might want to be on. Again, I would do Google searches for this kind of thing and see what you can come up with. It's going to take a bit of work. Otherwise, find a travel agent that is really into this stuff. Again, Google search for a travel agent that really knows the Greek islands, that knows European cruising, that really promotes themselves as experts in Europe. But don't be fooled, because sometimes you'll get these links that are just to some travel agent that knows nothing about anything, and you got hoodwinked. So there's going to be some homework done here, I'm afraid. But it sounds like a rewarding prize awaits you at the end of the rainbow. Let's see here, Donnell, 2:45 Eastern time equals 7:45 UK. So that's a great time for us over here. Thanks for the news. That's right. In Europe, I'll be on earlier. I'll be on 2 hours, 15 minutes earlier than usual, rather than 5 New York, 2:45 New York. That's 2 hours, 15 minutes sooner. So yes. I love to do P&O cruises because of the British sail away party, says Lewis, the travel and theme park spotter. Debbie Manuel, Linda Lou, mine keeps changing my words that I type. I think it's trying to help, but it's working out since the machine has no clue. I think Debbie's talking about the autocorrect. I think a few you're discussing that right now. Mark Reeves, hello. Can you talk about the latest high prices of airfare? Do people know how high it got before they book their cruise? Mark, that's a good point. Airfare is sometimes can be a tricky thing to figure out. See, the problem is that if you're going on a cruise during Easter break, during Thanksgiving, during the Christmas holidays, guess what? You're flying when everyone else is flying too. If you're going on a cruise when children are out of school for a short period of time, you're competing with all the families who want to do that. On the other hand, if you're going to take a cruise in the shoulder season, when things are a little quieter and the tourist season isn't so hot, then you might have a pleasant surprise with respect to your airfare. Whether it's domestic US or whether it's international, you might find that you get some real cool deals. The other thing I would look into, though, is when you find out the departure date for your cruise and the return day for your cruise, you want to look for airfare maybe 2 to 3 days before and or after the cruise itself, as just a way to shop it out and make sure you're not getting gouged that extra $150, $200 a person for airfare because you want to go when everyone else is going. I was going to say something else and I just slipped my mind. I'm going to talk to you about something else on the airfare deal. If your cruise leaves on a Sunday or a Saturday and you want to fly in on a Friday or a Saturday, you might be booking at, particularly the wrong time. It might be best to come in on a Wednesday. If you save that $150, then you might be able to find a hotel in the area or nearby for a good price, and you have a little mini holiday before you cruise. The other thing I was going to say was, just remember, if you're going to cruise out of Miami, don't look for flights just in and out of Miami. Look for flights in and out of Fort Lauderdale. Maybe look for flights in and out of Orlando, and maybe rent a car from Orlando. Take Orlando 3 days early and enjoy Orlando for a couple of days. Do some Disney World, do some Universal Studios, something there. Or head to Port Canaveral and check out the Space Museum for a day, the Kennedy Center, Space Center, and then drive your way down to the ship. That might be another way to go. If your cruise is out of Tampa, look for Tampa flights. Look for Orlando flights. If you're out of Port Canaveral, obviously Orlando, Jacksonville, and maybe Fort Lauderdale. If it's Fort Lauderdale, look at Miami. Look at Orlando, even Tampa. Sometimes you'll find a killer deal through a Southwest or a JetBlue that will be half the price of a major, and you're good to go. So, checking out the airfare is an important thing. Now, Europe. Hey, obviously, if you're going to fly into Europe and you're going to cruise Europe, the good news is, I guess, if the cruise begins in, say, Southampton, you're looking at Gatwick, Heathrow. I'm assuming you're coming from North America, by the way. Heathrow, Gatwick. You might fly into Liverpool, Glasgow. On the other hand, if you can find a transatlantic into Amsterdam, and it's $300 less per person, and there's two of you, $600. Look, you got to get to Europe, I think, a minimum 2 days before your cruise, maybe 3. You got to time adjust. Land in Amsterdam 3 days before, spend a day and a half, 2 days in Amsterdam, and then take a high-speed train under the Channel over to the UK, into downtown London, and then take a train connection to Southampton. There's a vacation in itself already before you've gotten on the ship. You've adjusted to the time by the 3rd day. There you go. On the other hand, if your cruise is going to depart from Barcelona or depart from say, Rome, well, you can fly into a ton of European cities and then make a connection on Ryanair for super cheap to the cruise city. But really, if you're going to leave from Rome, find a flight into Milan. Find a flight into Zurich, Vienna, Barcelona, spend a day or two, and then work your way over to Rome, either on a quick flight or on a high-speed train. Or another option is fly into Barcelona if you get a real deal there, and take a cruise, take a ferry an overnight ferry from Barcelona to Rome and get to Rome that way. You're not going to downtown Rome. You're going to the port just north of Rome, 80 kilometers, and it'll be right at the same port that your ferry comes in on. You see your ship as you're coming in that day. There's all kinds of ways to do this with Europe, obviously. Anyway, airfare, very good point. I agree with that. You have to really know the pricing of that, no question about it. Linda Lou, thanks, Debbie. Glad I'm not the only one having problems with my phone. Donnell, here that we can watch the show early next Tuesday, D-Day anniversary, and we have an early night. There you go. Tom Henry Sylvan, my fellow Trekker, are you familiar with the V series? The Epic reminds me of those alien sunglasses. Vivian, yay, Donnell, I'm not a night owl, so this is going to be good for Vivian too, the early start of the show. It's 77 here in Sacramento, Cat Rosa saying, Paul, I know why, laugh out loud, haha, okay. Private messages here. What do we got here? Fat Mob Adventures. Hey, Bruce, checking in from Waterbury, Connecticut. Welcome, Fat Mob Adventures. Cat Rose, they may be expanding, whatever. Okay, Sylvan, I bought a purple cushion a month ago, and every time I go to YouTube, I get a purple ad. They have me identified as a sucker, and they won't let me go. Good product, though. Tom Henry, Viv, you are more of a night owl than me, sleeping by 8 many nights. Sylvia, hey, Bruce, in 98 in Greensboro, North Carolina, it's hot. What else for North Carolina? Oh, my gosh. Welcome, Sylvia. Who else have I got here? Louis. I always go on Port Canaveral webcam, says Louis, the travel and theme park spotter. Paul Wilgus, Bruce, on that last video you posted, my commercial was for a cream to keep men's private areas from sweating. I've seen those ads. I've seen like references to those ads before. I haven't bothered watching one. Interesting. Very interesting, isn't it? Yes. Duncan in. Maybe one day there'll be a super ferry taking cruisers to their ships. What do you think about that? That you never know. That could be someday. You never know about that. Airfare is flipping insane, says Cat Rose. Well, that's because there's no competition anymore. The United States government was lobbied by the airlines to allow them to consolidate down to 5 airlines, and then they split up the territory, and now you're getting screwed. Isn't politics wonderful? Yes. Let's see here. Tom Henry. Sylvia, I was hoping to find out what the scam was on Junior's job that was too good to be true. Sylvia, Paul, he goes to work, then he feels when he feels like. Oh, okay. That's the kind of job to have, says Paul Wilgus. Donnell, I'm flying to Barcelona on a Wednesday in late April, so hopefully my flights will be reasonably priced. Donnell, I think you're going to do well. Aisling Keen, hi all. I got the photo, all prints in Eco. Has anyone got all prints package before it was worth it? Is it worth it? Rain here in Cork, Ireland today. So the Prince Eco, are you talking about like photographic packages on the cruise ship? Is it a good deal? I can't answer that one off the top of my head. Let's see here. Donnell, Tom Henry says, Donnell, you are so lucky. Aer Lingus is one of the best flights from Barcelona when I was pricing last year. Definitely one of the best deals. Sylvan Forest, 124 days until my Norwegian breakaway cruise. Fantastic. My favorite thing about going on a cruise is standing at the front of the ship with my arms out and someone behind me like being on the Titanic, Louis the Travel and Theme Park Spotter said. Tom Henry, if Cool missed you, hi Cool, I missed you today, was worried something might happen. How's your mom? And Cool Jess, I guess he missed our morning chat. Megan Frost, hey, just got home. Hey, Megan, welcome. Linda Lou, hey, Cool Jess. Who else have I got here? 12 degrees in Mirabel with more rain, says Megan. Jeffrey Store, hey Bruce, going late. What have I missed? Not too much. A few things. Did a few videos today. You may want to check those out. I've been talking about those today. Tom Henry, oh, Sylvia, thought you had some work to do. Who else have I got? Shawana's Creative Circle, smiling. And Vivian, naps are good. Sylvia, Paul, and his second job, I need to start at 6 p.m. Cruise money. It'll be something to go on 2 cruises in 1 year. I've never been able to quit this. What is it? Quit this damn job. Oh, I've never been able to quit this damn job and let me go start cleaning. I hear you, Sylvia. Gotta work, make some money, go cruising. That's what it's all about. There you have it. Folks, I'm on again tonight at 8 o'clock for trivia tonight. Day after tomorrow, Thursday, special show, 11:45 Pacific time, 2:45 Eastern time. Sherry with Cruise Tips TV will be my special guest on Thursday's show. I welcome you to come and join us. We're going to do a hangout together. We're going to talk YouTube and cruising and everything else, and you are welcome to ask her questions. and we'll pass them on to her. I'm looking forward to that show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Tom Henry says, regarding the photo packages, the NCL package pre-order is much better if you want many ship picks. $29.95 per pick on ship versus $175 for 35 picks, 3 pre-order. Wow. That's still a lot of cash, isn't it? It's like $5 a photo. Wow. Susan R, thanks, Bruce. Linda Lou, bye, Sylvia. Yes, Paul, I'm going in now, laughing out loud, says Sylvia. Duncan, Bruce, do you have Instagram? If so, where is your link? Yes, I do have Instagram. Traveling with Bruce. I have a Traveling with Bruce Instagram out there. Just look it up. You can probably Google it. You'll find it. We'll take you to it. I don't do too much on it, though. I'm not that active on it. I have to pick that up. I have to learn how to do this and work it. But right now, it's pretty rudimentary. Excuse me, folks. All right, there you have it. Thank you for joining me. Those of you out there who have Facebook pages and friends, do me a favor. Tell your friends that on Thursday, I've got Cruise Tips TV on this show at 2:45 Eastern Time at a special time. Let's promote this show now to as many people as humanly possible and have a nice big viewing of that interview. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Debbie Manuel, back for trivia later. Bye for now. Thank you, Deb. Cool Jazz, did Bruce say 2:45? Yes, 2:45 on Thursday Eastern Time. I'll be on with Cruise Tips TV live. Looking forward to it. Linda Lou says, yes, cool. He did. 2:45 Eastern. I saw that, Jeffrey. Disgusting people. I don't know what that means. Linda Lou, bye, Debbie. Tom Henry. Yep, Jeff, he deserved that comment. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming by. I might have to be sick on Thursday, says Megan. And watch that show. Debbie, bye, Linda Lou. I'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern Time. Thanks for joining me tonight and hanging out with me. Thank you for 31 thumbs ups. Appreciate that. And I will catch you guys at 8 p.m. this evening for live trivia with Traveling with Bruce. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.